Hi there, and welcome back to SettleCarlisle68. I'm Gary, and you join me on a cold evening in January, where I'm just testing one of my new purchases that I've made since the last video, and it's my Hornby Black 5, which I'll show you in a short while. But first of all, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to all of the new subscribers that have come on board and subscribed to the channel. So since the last video, I've had over 350 new subscribers, which is fantastic, and the video has been the most successful yet for me, with over 7,000 views to date. So absolutely fantastic. It does give you a buzz when you've gone to the time and effort to make the video, when you see lots of people watching and hopefully enjoying it. So gives you a greater incentive to go on and make future videos and crack on with the new layout. So on to the new layout. As you'll see in this video, I've finalised the track plan for the layout, so we'll run through that, and then I would like, if possible, some feedback and comments on what you think of the track plan. Feedback's always great to receive, with fresh and new ideas, and hopefully that only enhances the layout itself. So looking forward to hopefully getting some comments and feedback. And yeah, if you've not already subscribed, please, I think it's the right hand side, hopefully I'm pointing to the right corner, just press the subscribe button. It's free, and hopefully it can get to the 2,000 mark in the next video. That would be absolutely fantastic. So enough waffling from me. I'll just show you the new Black 5 that I've got on the rolling road, and then we'll jump into the video. So here it is, my latest purchase or purchases. So firstly, I've got the new Black 5, which is a Hornby loco, and that's R2250, and that's a class 5MT locomotive 45253, and I got this from Rails of Sheffield, and it appears from the tests I've done and the inspection, it looks a nice model. Doesn't look like it's been used that often, to be fair. So let's just fire it up on my new rolling road and see how it performs. So the idea behind purchasing the rolling road was to test any new locos and the locos that I'd already bought. So I've had all 12 locos on here that I've got in my collection, and I think I found one fault with one of the locos, with some of the running gear, but apart from that, they seem to be running, in my limited experience with 00 locos, it seems to be running pretty good. So we'll just take this through its paces and then back down again. So I'm around 50% now on the Gauge Master Combi controller. So that's 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, so that's flat out on the controller, and then we'll bring it back down. And you can do that obviously in the opposite direction, but for this part of the video, I think that just shows you the rolling road at work, and also my new logo. So let's crack on with the next part of the video, and that's the track plan.
So here we go. So planning for my new model railway layout, and as you saw, or hopefully saw from episode 1, we've now come to a point where I've named the new layout Ravenstonedale, and we're now going into episode 2. So just a bit of a recap on what we covered in episode 1. So covered the first 4 points with the new layout overview, fitting the layout into the available space in what is quite a small room, 2.7 meters square. We went through the era and the location of the layout, whereby I'm covering era 4, 5 generally, and it's located in the Westmoreland area. Specifically around Ravenstonedale, and the rolling stock I will be covering is again era 4 and 5, with the bonus of some LMS and modern day heritage line stock. So quite a wide spread there. So that was obviously episode 1. Episode 2, I was originally going to cover the track plan design and operation, and then also the all important scenery. But when I've come to record the video, it was getting too long, so you're going to have the bonus of an episode 3, which will cover the scenery aspect of the layout. So in episode 2, we're going to be covering the track plan design and operation, and then we'll come back in episode 3 to cover the scenery, which I've already recorded. So I will release that video in about a week's time after this video. So let's jump into the track plan. So in terms of the track plan design operation, I think this is the back end of the design process, if you will. This is what's come about from a few months of research and so on the Ravenstonedale layout. So let's see where we're at. So as we got from the last video, the baseboard, the fixed baseboard, is going to be an L shape around the room, and that's going to be 2.7 meters long, so it's going to be the full width of the room, and then 1.6 meters long on the bottom of the L. The baseboard will be fixed to the room walls, and that's something I've not done before. I've previously had a freestanding layout on legs, so it's probably some new techniques to learn on how to fit that into the room properly. Need to select the track type and the minimum radius curves I'm going to be using. It's a small room, so I can't go too big on the curve radius. And then the point types and the size of point radius as well for the fixed part of the layout. And then just throwing out some ideas for the type of point motors and signals that I want to use on the layout. And then finally, locations of the power and isolation points. I've not really looked at these in any great detail yet. They'll come further down the line, but just thought I'd throw that in there. So it was a bit of a no-brainer with the track selection for myself. I wanted to go with something that looks as period as can be, with the era 4 and 5. So I've opted to go with a Pico Bullhead code 75 track, and I'm looking to have a minimum size radius on the layout of third radius. Don't really want to go down to second radius, even though the majority of the rolling stock these days runs at second radius. I wanted to stick at third and make it as much realistic as possible. Still tight, but I think third is possible. Going with long radius points to give smooth transitions between changeover of tracks. And then with the bullhead, it is standard unifrog point control, which is great for me. I'll probably go with a minimum amount of electrical wiring on those, but we'll see. So just a refresher on the actual Ordnance Survey track plan as to where things are. Since the last video, in the comments, I did receive a comment from Clive Sharegold, so thanks Clive, and he pointed out about including this crossover from the upline to the downline, and that would give access for the upline traffic to access the goods yard. Now, this wasn't present on the earlier track plan, but you'll see in the next few minutes as we go through the track plan what I'm going to do there with that crossover, because I think it's a great idea to obviously add that in. So the other just couple of things to mention are the signal points on the layout or on the track plan that I intend to include on the layout. So a bit of a busy photograph, but as part of the sort of research into the Ravenstonedale station, wanted to identify where the signals were. So these two are quite obvious and do show up on the track plan. So we've got signal 1, which is the signal down home signal. Signal 2, you can't quite see it, but that's in the distance. That's signal home starting. So that will be the starting signal from releasing from the platform, the down platform, which is here. And then you've got signal 3, which is the signal up home, so that's for the trains coming into Ravenstonedale station. And then you've got signal 4, which is the starting signal to release from the Ravenstonedale station. So hopefully I've got that right. And then the crossover, which you can clearly see on this photograph, which Clive had mentioned to me in the comments. That's clearly there to see on this particular photograph. So finally revealed the track plan, and this is it. Nothing spectacular, as it is such a small layout in such a compact space, but I have, as prototypical as possible within the space, tried to capture this part of the track plan. So that's with the goods shed, the coal depot, and the station. The platform that you see there on the track plan is to scale. I think it's an 80-meter long platform, so that equates to, I think, a 1,080 millimeters length platform, if memory serves me right. The two big noticeable differences are the curves, of course, and I need to put these into to fit into the room. So these aren't obviously prototypical, and this first set of curves, we've got a third radius here for the down platform. I've actually shortened this platform, and I'll explain later what I plan to do there in sort of hiding that. And then on the opposite side, we've got what would be the road bridge that crosses over the track here. I'm going to sort of cunningly design the layout, if I can, to make it look as though it's a road bridge, and then it would obviously disappear up into the top right hand corner of the layout. But I'm going to obviously turn this through 90 degrees, and that will be hidden by what would be in the prototypical plan would be a banking here, but obviously this will be a tunnel and hidden away the two tracks. So that's the layout plan as it stands. A couple of other things to point out is I've got a viaduct scene here, which is quite a sizable viaduct, but the plan is to have almost two separate scenes. So you've got the viaduct scene, which will be sort of divided even by this baseboard joint. So the scenery will sort of finish here, and it'll be blended in, or it'll be a divider, so to speak, should I say, to divide between the viaduct and the station scene and this platform. So that'll hopefully give the illusion that the platform and the track would carry on further. The other thing to note is I've sort of picked up where the point motors will be. So these are quite obvious really, but we've got point motor 1, point motor 2, 3 and 4. So they're all together on the layout. So it's only 4 point motors. If you then add in points 5 and 6, which are the crossover, then that, as I said, that would be an additional 2. However, because the points would be on a curve, and I don't want to have points on a curve, I'm not a big fan of curved points, and the bullhead track doesn't have curved points in the range, I'm not going to fit the crossover points there. They're going to be elsewhere on the layout. I've also sort of added in the positions of the signals, which are at point 1, 2 down here, 3 and 4. So a rough idea where the 4 signals would go on the layout. So, as I mentioned earlier, a rough idea or plan of what I want to do with the point motors. So at this moment in time, I'm looking to use the Cobalt analog IP point motors. They seem really good. I've seen on the reviews, and I believe also they've got a full life warranty, which is great. So that's looking the way I'm going to go. And with the micro switches on there, they're terminals, so no soldering involved, and they work well with the signals that I'm looking to use, which will be the DAPOL electrically operated signals. So that's the initial plan, to use those on the layout. In terms of point signal and control, I really do like these old school type DCC point and signal levers. So I would need probably in the region of 8 of these in a bank. Just not sure whether I'm going to go down that route though, or whether I'm going to go for a sort of bespoke control panel.
Okay, so from the last video I got a few questions about the layout and how I'm going to turn the locos round and so on. To be honest, I don't think I made it overly clear from my perspective what I was going to do with the space in the room, other than what the fixed part of the layout was. So the fixed part of the layout will be the scenic section, which will remain in place for the full time in the room, to the point where it will be attached to the wall along there and then along. I've actually pulled the shelving unit out now to where the layout edge will be. So where that sort of tape measure ends will be the edge of the layout at that far end. So there's still a little bit of a gap to the wall there, and that's where the track will end on the fixed part of the layout, and then there will be a curve here which will then lead onto roughly where those tracks are, and then it will go over the top of the workbench, and then it will turn left over that other shelf unit there. At that point the layout will be 500 millimeters wide compared to the 600-700 millimeters of this longer length of the layout. and then that is where it's actually going to go to where the white architrave is. So it'll terminate there, and then there'll be a cutout here in the layout, which will now allow better access into the room, and you'll see that on the track plan when we move over to it. So then for the add-on layout, the idea is there will be a curve around here, just past this shelf unit here, so it'll come round in front of the door, and that will be a removable piece, and I'll just spin to face the other way, so just bear with me. So when you look from this side of the room, as I've said, the track will come down here, and then fixed track will end here, and then it'll curve round to where I'm stood, and then I will then have add-on baseboards, which will then run from this corner all the way up to the corner where you see the tape measure. So this will be a temporary set of baseboards, or one baseboard, that I'll be able to store away when not in use. And the idea is it will be used and set up relatively quickly. And then the idea is it will actually be stored where you see that the white Settle to Carlisle sign. It'll be stored along that wall, so we'll probably hung up on some hooks, so it needs to be lightweight and easy to set up, so I can quickly connect to that end, quickly connect to the end where I'm stood. All of this stuff here in bags and so on won't be here. That's being moved, and yeah, that's the plan. So the fixed layout and the add-on part of the layout. So I just thought I'd clear that up before we go into the part of the video that explains the track plan.
Okay, so you've seen the layout of the room and where I intend to run the track on the add-on section. So as you can see, this is the L-shape fixed part of the layout, and then this will be the add-on section. So this light blue curves will be a drop-in bridging section, or at least that's the plan, and then these red points that you see in the layout will be the connection points. And then we're going to have this long single baseboard, which will be an estimated just short of 2.5 meters long by 325 millimeters wide. So this is going to be of a lightweight construction, and the idea is that when I've finished playing trains, I will pack all this away, and certainly this baseboard, this long one, will be hung on the wall above the layout, as I just explained in the last part of the video. Possibly going to ask, why is it such a shape? Why don't you go around the full extent of the room? And that's quite simple to answer, really. Is that I've got storage shelving, which is sort of off picture really, along this wall, which you need to get access to. You'll be able to lean over the layout or climb under. I can't go any further along this wall because I've got the all-important beer fridge here, which does have some other things in besides beer, but we need access to that if I've got this set up for quite a while. And then the only downside really is the access to the front of the garage will be blocked with the interior door. However, you will still be able to get into the garage through the main front door, up and over door on the garage. So it's not the end of the world. On the opposite side, we've got the main entrance door that I come into the back of the garage. It'll just mean I'll have to crawl under the drop-in bridging section, which again isn't ideal, but I don't intend to be going in and out once I'm in the room, running the trains and hopefully filming them passing through the scenery whilst I chill out. The only thing with mention is this is the modelling desk. I will be able to pull it out far enough to do the modelling without my chair hitting the layout. When I'm not running the layout, I'll be able to pull out the modelling desk the full extent. So that's the full layout in its entirety with the fixed layout and the add-on section. I think the only other thing I need to add to that is this is where I'm going to be adding the crossover points, which would normally and are prototypically up here on the top left section, and then you'll also see I've got a pair of fiddle yard sidings either side, and these should be able to take a loco and 3 or 4 coaches or wagons. And the idea that behind these is, as I have one train running, I'll be able to exchange the trains quite easily in the fiddle yard, ready to run another set of trains out on the track.
Okay, so that just about brings the video to an end. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and my plans are crystal clear now as to what I'm doing. If you've got any questions or comments or anything to help me along, say I'm new to 00, and with quite a small space, any ideas to improve what I've sort of pulled together would be really welcomed, and just pop them in the comments box. So what's going to come next? So I've got a few plans for some other videos in the next month or two. In terms of the layout itself, the next step for me is to take the plans forward and start looking at making the fixed baseboards that are going to go in here. So I'm just waiting for some decent weather, because I'll have to do that outside, and then I'll start installing the baseboard. So that'll be moving on to the exciting part, getting a layout together. So yeah, got a month or two to probably fine tune the plans, and then we can start cutting some wood, and I plan to put a video together on how I'm planning the baseboards, and then or before we start cutting wood, and then I'll have a video of installing it into the room, which hopefully should be interesting. Seeing me do some woodwork is fun at the best of times. So I'm waffling on, let's close the video there. Thanks for watching. Thanks to all the subscribers, and you never know, on the next video it could be up to 2,000, but that's probably wishful thinking, but you never know. So thanks again, see you soon, and happy modelling. Cheers, bye.